So here's the funny thing though. So this food bank, like they usually start at 9:30, but he just did the prayer. They always make every like gather around, do a prayer, whatever, blah blah blah. And he said that they're going to start early today because it's raining. I don't know if you can tell that in the video, but I'm definitely getting wet. So anyway, but I just think it's funny because they could literally just start handing stuff out as people come in or something. I don't know. This will we'll start handing things out at 9:30, but they're already here at 8:30 for people to walk in and get numbers, and then they make everybody wait. That is so that there is a captive audience to hear their religious message, to be proselytized to. Just making a note of that.
So it used to be the case that you could show up at this food bank at like 10 o'clock and still get a bag. And then it got to a point where it was so popular that you have to be here early to get a number. It's like getting tickets at a rock concert. And that's due to the fact that it used to be the case, because this is right across the street from the library, that you could just see the sign for the food bank. So most of the people that went, it was only like maybe 30 of us, were the people that are the daily library crowd of homeless people. And then a certain demographic caught wind that this food bank exists, and now they have eclipsed the population of homeless people who show up, who are actually people in need of going to the food bank. If you are at all abreast or aware of this issue, you will know exactly the demographic of people that I am talking about. That being said, so now what happens is by like around 8:30, you have to show up to get a number. I get over here, so I go across the street at Honolulu Hale at 7:45 when they open to use the bathroom, and then I hang out over there until the library opens at 9, except for on Fridays at 8:45, I walk around across the street and get my number. I was number 45 when I took this video. That like people are literally banging down the door of this place to be the first people in line, and they are always the first people in line. Anywho, like I said, it's that particular demographic. So, but what ends up happening because of this format is, and it's purposeful, they want everybody to be around for the prayer. Now, you see how far away from the group I'm sitting, and they're not forcing me to go stand in the group and bow my head and thank the Lord Jesus Christ for this wonderful food, as I'm going to show in a little bit of evidence here in a second. It is actually unlawful to be doing that because they are handing out TEFAP, which is that's the Federal Food Commodities Program. Um, so that being said, I know I say that a lot. I'm just trying to fly off the handle here, and it's hard to concentrate because people in here are so loud. Anyway, so moving on. So ACLU commends Biden administration's new rules protecting religious freedom for people who use government-funded social services. This is from March 4th of 2024 at 2:30 p.m., which is weird to me because Biden had been in power for like how long? And this is almost like this is the end, right? When was I feel like Trump had like I don't know, it's all a blur. Like the fact that Trump has only been president again for like the last 9 months, like warps my brain. Like I it just doesn't feel like it doesn't feel right. But anyway, but the point being is like so Biden had what like 10 months of his presidency left when he allegedly did this. So I'm not really sure what took him so long to overturn it because apparently, according to this, right? The Trump administration regulations that have stripped away these safeguards. So the American Civil Liberties Union commits the Biden administration's finalized rules to restore religious freedom protections for people who use federally funded social services, including food banks, homeless or domestic violence shelters, job training, and elder care. I've been aware of this for over 10 years because there would be places that would take things to the Next Step shelter back in 2015 that would then make they always find ways to make people pay attention to their religious proselytizing in order to obtain services. And this is also a tactic that they've been using in my everyday daily life. And I know that makes me sound like a paranoid schizophrenic. And at this point, I don't fucking care because I've got all my receipts, whether they fucking know it or not. So anyway, quote, people who use government funded social services are often already vulnerable or marginalized. These final rules will help ensure that they will not be pressured to participate in religious activities or be required to meet a religious litmus test in exchange for the help that they need. So they're working a loophole here by making everybody show up and take a number and then starting distribution at a particular time, right? And then they have their little like mini church service starts at 9:25, and you don't have to come over here and be near the group. But then you do, because by the time they start handing everything out, right, it only takes it doesn't take very long for them to actually get through everybody. So I actually, by the time, to be able to get there in time to get a number that ensures I get a bag of food that I of course am now going to need, because we're not going to end up with our food stamps in November. Yeah, thank you for denying me what I consider my stipend for service I never fucking signed up for. But that's a whole story for another fucking time. That being said, if I'm actually in need, I have to be here at like 10 to 9 to get a number, to then sit here and waste 40 minutes of my existence, to then be forced to listen to them pray and do their little announcements, to take 5 minutes to get to my point in line, hand out the bag that you're going to hand me, and then get on my lovely fucking way. But anyway, so just from a quick Google, right? No, you cannot be required to pray or participate in any religious activity to receive benefits from the Emergency Food Assistance Program. So while they might think that they're skirting this requirement, they actually, I don't think that this should qualify for them not requiring it. Just because I'm allowed to sit away from the group while they're doing, right, you're not required to participate in the prayer. They don't require you to all hold hands and sing kumbaya, but they are requiring you to be present while they then do this before they actually start providing the service that you're there for. So, and then they rely on this, don't bite the hand that feeds. And it's just really, really fucking unnerving. So I'm just going to let these play out. And if anybody ever watches this and is interested, you can pause and read or just Google it yourself.
So here's the funny thing, guys. So this food bank, like they usually start at 9:30, but he just did the prayer. They always make every like gather around, do a prayer.